Hello and welcome to Gate 11 and the first line. So Gate 11 is our gate of ideas, the gate of peace, and the first line is called Attunement. This line is, of course, the foundation of the hexagram. This is the truth of the hexagram. It is a line of introspection, this attunement. It's a line that actually resonates deeply through the whole of the abstract process. The lifetime learning says the serendipity of being in the right place at the right time. This is a resonance to the 46th hexagram, whose theme is to recognize that one is in the right place at the right time. Always. To be in the right place at the right time, really, it means that whatever idea you have is of value in the moment that you have it. This is important to understand in terms of Gate 11. The idea process is a gift. It is simply there. The ideas can always be there. Any idea at any given moment has value, but not for you. It has value as another idea, as another perspective on the process, and it's valuable to the other. Remember, I said in the overview that these mental gates, they are always an outer authority. And when we try and use an outer authority for ourselves, things can get a little bit messy. So our ideas are actually always for other people, and it's collective, so they are always here to be shared. Gate 46 is in the same abstract circuit, and the secret of abstract is to be in the experience, in the process, not try and work it out until later, not try to derive value from it until later, and not expect to do any of that. Always later. Although it's interesting, isn't it? Because abstract is actually based in the past. It's based on the making sense of what we've done. So in that sense, it's the past, it's logic that takes us into the future. But here we actually learn that we have to wait until later. We have to reflect on what we've been through. And then the ideas can come up. So it's an interesting kind of blend of like, oh, it's here and then it's there, and then it's like, oh, yummy. Geeking out on the abstract circuit today. So this is ideas in which the consequences are not imagined. This is the definition of a natural idea. The consequences are not imagined. It's only after the idea becomes stimulation. It becomes an experience that has been reflected upon or can be reflected upon within that amazing capacity for memory in Gate 11. Only then is it possible to see the outcome. In the exaltation, the nourishment derived from being with those who share the same goals and aspirations, a gift of finding those who will value your ideas. One of the great concerns of all first lines is whether or not their nature is going to be accepted by the other. Idea people are very concerned about whether anybody is going to have anything to do with their ideas, which is why people can be so fervent. The beginning of a belief system lies here in this gate, in this line. If you look at gate 56, because it's a throat gate, it has a voice, and it's what is at the other end of the channel from the 11. The voice in gate 56 is I believe. This is the beginning of all of that process. Idea people, they need to have others who say, whoa, great idea. That is a great idea. Whether that's a belief in something or not. What they're looking for is others who will share the idea because they know it's not a fact. They know it's not necessarily a truth. What they do know is that it's an idea. Who else wants to go along with me for this experience? Hey, maybe we'll have a crisis, but misery loves company after all, so let's all get in and do it together. In the detriment, we find the fear of anonymity. The fear of not being seen, the fear of anonymity. Thank you. The sense that no one will value their ideas. I hope we don't have that word very often in this. I'm going through here. It's okay, not find another word. This is the foundation of what ideas are all about. An idea is only of value if you can share it with others. An idea is a painful thing when nobody else values it. Now, this is the whole thing about idea people. They are constantly searching. Yeah, it's that channel of curiosity, the design of a searcher. They're constantly searching, not simply for a new idea, but the searching is for others who will share that idea with them, who will find value in their ideas. The 1156 is a deeply social channel. The 56, that throat gate with the voice that says, I believe, it's the opiate of the masses. A belief system is intended to explode out of the social environment where other people are there, sharing ideas and saying, yes, yes, as we all know, ideas can be very dangerous. But hey, yes, let's go for it. So there's a slight warning in the background there, because ideas can be dangerous in a way. They bring something new in. Is that what the collective wants? Or it's more individuality? So where does the collective sit with the thought that this idea could be new? And the lower trigram always has difficulty in terms of the other side. The lower trigram is more involved in understanding the nature of its own process. And yet here in this channel, through this gate, there is this enormous pressure to socialize, because the ideas are of no value unless they are shared with others. It takes us back to the theme of fear. Now we're in the Ajna Center now. The Ajna is an awareness center, and all of the awareness centers have a theme of fear associated with them. This is something people don't always like to consider, that awareness is the direct result of fear. Fear kind of gets a bad rap, doesn't it? But this is where awareness comes from. All awareness is underlined by fear. You could say that fear is the inspiration for awareness. So our splenic awareness represents our basic biological fears. It keeps us safe. These are the fears about the very nature of our survival, of our ability to be able to succeed, to make a difference, in order that we physically can survive. The Ajna Center, the mind, the fear of the mind is anxiety. It's not life-threatening. It has nothing to do with survival. It's the fear of not being understood, the fear of not being able to explain oneself, the fear that your idea will never stimulate anyone else, that nobody else will ever see value in it. This is the mental anxiety that the 17, the 43, and the 11 all suffer from. It's a deep anxiety that has a potential to drive their awareness. The fear of not being seen. Okay, I'm going to try and say that word again. The fear of anonymity is the fear of inadequacy, of being able to stimulate others, being inadequate in that process. So your ideas actually just fall on stony ground. And Ra tells us that an idea is nothing more than being in the right place at the right time. And this is not something that you can arrange. It's something that you are, because you're always in the right place at the right time when you're living out your nature. Always. So the grounding for this sun's transit through gate 11, we know now, is coming from the earth being in gate 12, the gate of caution and standstill. The first line here is called the monk, and it says withdrawal that can only be maintained with communal support. This is funny, really, because in the 11, line 1, we've got the serendipity of being in the right place at the right time, ready to share ideas, but not being able to because it's an Ajna gate. And then in the 12, which is the throat gate, we have withdrawal. And it's the first line. It's not even a second line. Individuality has to pay attention to timing. They are all over timing, because they know that if the timing is not correct, they run the risk of being seen as the freak, just a little bit too different to fit in. And so perhaps this is how gate 12 supports gate 11. By just being there, it's that quality of restraint, and it's that, hey, right timing, right timing. Wait for recognition, wait to be invited. The moon has been in gate 16 since 2:50 this morning, and it stays in the throat for all of today's transits. It's going through the three manifesting throat gates, the 35, 45, and 12. So gate 35 first at 12:09. This is the collective abstract gate that says, I feel. Usually it's saying, I feel really bored. It's time for a change. This is the gate of change, the gate of progress. It is part of the human experiential way, and it is pointing down towards the solar plexus in gate 36, the gate of crisis, which is where Neptune is sitting right now. Jupiter is in gate 35 at the moment, so we have this channel of transitoriness until January. And next we have gate 45, the tribal voice that says, I have. It's the only voice that the tribe has. And we dipped into this gate in the last transit as it grounded the sun in gate 26. This is the gate of the gatherer, the ruler. This is as high as the tribe can rise. And it's an energy that can be very protective of the tribe. It wants the best for the tribe. And part of that expresses as a desire to educate the tribe. And then finally, we have gate 12. This is our current earth gate, and it has the voice of I try. It's the gate of caution and standstill. And although it's a throat gate and a gate of articulation, it is also a gate of silence. It's just as likely to remain quiet because, again, this is individuality. And there is always a caution built into individuality, especially in this social channel, the only social channel in individuality. Is it safe to be social? Is it safe to share emotions? Because this is an emotional channel too, and it's a manifestor channel. What kind of impact will it have if it opens its mouth? Doesn't know how it's going to be received, and so it waits until it is in the mood, and then it will have the impact that it desires. Okay, so this is us. We're into gate 11 now. No stopping us. I will see you for the second line tomorrow. Until then, as always, love yourself wildly, and I will see you then. Go gently.